Hey guys, I am going to be recording a series of vlogs through a book. So for the next series of weeks, through a book called The Art of Neighboring. So you're more than welcome to follow along with me. I'm using an ebook. I'll show you the cover of the book. There it is. As you can see, I'm using the ebook version. I got it off of Amazon.com. If you want to follow along with me, you can. I'm going to be taking basically a chapter a week here in my library with my trusty pipe, for effect. And it kind of fits with the library and the little book discussion. Even though I don't actually have anything in it, it's not lit because I'm inside. I usually don't use it inside, but maybe someday I'll record one of these outdoors and we'll light it. So this book is a great book. It's very practical, very helpful for being on mission, especially in the place where you live, and particularly for community groups and thinking through whether that's an actual neighborhood or whether that's maybe a smaller pocket of people, an affinity group, you might say. These kind of principles are going to apply certainly to all those, but for in general, just refer to them as neighborhoods. Whatever your mission focus is, whatever that neighborhood ends up being. And of course, this book is going to be mainly speaking to actual neighborhoods with houses and maybe an apartment complex. I'm going to do my best as we work through this to apply this to Morgantown. Especially since Morgantown has a higher than national average number of housing units made up of multi-housing units. And so that has a big impact on how we become good neighbors and how we engage in mission. I lived in an apartment complex here in town. I've lived in dorms, and as many of you do as well. So, so tonight I'm going to basically introduce the book, and if you want to pick up a copy and read along, we'll cover chapter 1 next week. So this book is called The Art of Neighboring. There's a lot of benefits to neighboring and becoming a good neighbor. That's one of the things that comes out very abundantly in the book. One of those benefits is that you get the opportunity, you get more opportunities in being a neighbor, more opportunities to hear people's stories. You get more opportunities to cultivate a better sense of community and opportunities also to share the gospel. The book is mainly a challenge to live out the Great Commandment. If you're familiar in the Bible with the Great Commandment that Jesus said, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second, like unto it, is to love your neighbor as yourself. And in many ways, as believers, as we love God, one of the ways in which that works itself out in our lives is through love of neighbor. So those are some of the benefits to neighboring and the benefits to this book. If we want to see changes in our city, in our communities, changes that are certainly gospel impact, but that flow out naturally from the gospel. As people are transformed, communities can become transformed, and we can begin to see changes in our city when God's people will begin to break out of the norm and to begin to choose a lifestyle of conversation and community over isolation. So this book, I'm very excited about it because it's very practical. And these videos will be working through that. A lot of practical tools for building the rhythms and relationships that we're created to enjoy for the fame of Jesus. So I hope you'll follow along. Whether or not you want to read along with me or not is up to you, but I hope you'll follow along and learn with me as we learn to be Jesus' people in Morgantown.